Hello students, teachers, parents, history nerds. Hello everybody, and welcome to Nutshelled History, where we lay out the facts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We continue with our Modern World History series by looking at rapid development in China and India. Don't forget that there's a link for a fill-in-the-blank worksheet in the description. Feel free to use it. I just ask that you like and subscribe. I apologize for any mispronunciations ahead of time. I do my best. Alright, let's roll. After Mao Zedong died, moderate leaders took control of China. Deng Xiaoping began a program called the Four Modernizations, which allowed some features of a free market economy. Some private ownership of property was permitted, and entrepreneurs could set up businesses. Farmers were allowed to sell surplus produce and keep the profits. Foreign investment was also welcomed. These reforms brought a surge of economic growth, although a gap developed between poor farmers and wealthy city dwellers. After 30 years of reforms, China's economic output has grown greatly. Despite these economic reforms, however, communist leaders refused to allow more political freedom. Demonstrators seeking democratic reforms occupied Tiananmen Square in Beijing in May 1989. When the demonstrators refused to disperse, the government sent in troops and tanks. Thousands were killed or wounded. China continues to face many challenges. Its population is the second largest in the world. Many rural workers have moved to cities, but they often live in poverty there. Critics of the government are jailed, and human rights abuses continue. The government started the one-child policy to prevent population growth from hurting economic development. Population growth slowed. By contrast, India has a democratic government. After gaining independence, India's government adopted a socialist model, but development was uneven. The Green Revolution in the 1960s improved crop output, but most farmers continued to use traditional methods. Since the 1980s, India has shifted to a free market system. Despite setbacks, it has grown greatly in industry and technology. Despite these improvements, India's population growth has hurt efforts to improve living conditions. The Indian government backed family planning, but it had limited success. More than one-third of Indians live below the poverty line. Many rural families moved to overcrowded cities like Kolkata and Mumbai. To help the urban poor, Mother Teresa founded the Missionaries of Charity. Changes in India have brought improvements for India's lowest social castes and women. India's constitution bans discrimination against Dalits, people in the lowest caste, but prejudice persists. The constitution also grants equal rights to women. Okay, let's recap. After Mao Zedong's death, China embraced Deng Xiaoping's Four Modernizations, a reform plan that sprinkled capitalism into its communist stew, with farmers keeping profits, entrepreneurs setting up shop, and foreign investors invited in. The economy boomed, but wealth gaps widened, and political freedoms? Still a no-go. When pro-democracy protesters occupied Tiananmen Square in 1989, the government sent tanks, leaving a bloody legacy. Meanwhile, India's post-independence socialist experiment gave way to a free market pivot in the 1980s, boosting tech and industry but struggling against poverty and overpopulation. Both nations saw progress. China reined in population growth with a one-child policy, and India made strides for women and lower castes, though challenges like urban overcrowding and inequality remain. There you have it, folks. That is rapid development in China and India, nutshelled. Thanks for stopping by Nutshelled History. Please help this channel rapidly develop by smashing those like and subscribe buttons. See y'all next time on Nutshelled History.